Back again, and the paint is dried enough that I could lay out the Acreation decals in the approximate pattern that they need to be. And looking at how dark the pattern is against the hull, I think I'm going to change my mind and only apply the pearlescent white on top. Because if it was white, the Aztec pattern would be way too harsh. Now, this is the iridescent. Now you can see at this angle how you cannot see the iridescent colors. This is the pearlescent. Now, hopefully they lighten up once you get closer, but I am going to try to tilt the model into view after I put this on the stand. There. Okay, I'm going to try to now tilt the model into view until you can see the iridescent colors. I'm not going to try to tape it down though. Well, there's some. Let's do this. There you go. Now you're getting somewhere. Now you can see the iridescent. Oh, look at that. There you go. The iridescent color against the hull. Oh, that's beautiful. This is exactly the effect I wanted. Now, you tilt it around and you watch the pearlescent come into view. Now, the pearlescent was just a test. That is what's going to be used for the Enterprise A. Though, of course, there's going to be a pearlescent decal or two on the hull. But that's a good test. It's exactly what I'm looking for. And I'm going to post the pictures on Facebook. And but before I do that, let's get the Enterprise Refit from 2019 down again and take a look. All right. Here is the Enterprise A lightened with the pearl white over the light gray primer. Now, if you take a look at the Wrath of Khan Enterprise, which has an AS5 light blue, you'll see how it's noticeably darker. This is more like the Royal Light Gray from the TOS Enterprise. Pardon me for reaching. But you can see how the TOS Enterprise is much darker, but it's in the same brownish gray color. And that's more of a bluish gray. And you see the pearlescent colors here. They're subtle, but you can see them just like right there, right there. And that's just lightened down with the white pearlescent. However, remember, the bottom hull is for testing, but you remember what I did with the refit? Why I ultimately made it a gray, not a white? And you see the difference in the hull color? So I think that if I just put the pearlescent white on top of the gray, I think that'll be light enough. Because while the Enterprise looked white in bright light, of the dry dock and such, when it was in the dimmer starlight, it actually came out a very light gray, which is what the pearl white takes the gray primer down to. A light gray, it makes the decals more subtle and everything else. Now look at this. Look at this from a distance. 1 second. All right. Look at the gray primer from a distance, and you can see how subtle the iridescent coated decals are. Now, let's put the spotlight on it. Oh, it really gives it a bluish cast. The pattern is even harder to discern. And you know what? Even using all three white colors, you're not going to get a full coverage anyway. There will still be some gray bleed through. So you know what? I am going to do the refit in, oh, look at that. You can see the iridescent color there. You can see the pearlescent color there. Let's move it over the, oh my gosh, there you go. There you go. Now, turn the overhead light out. Dulls it right out. Turn the overhead light back on. And there's the pearlescent. That is exactly the, now, let's see if you can get them side by side. Just like that. Well, it doesn't quite get both at the same time, but you get the general idea, huh? You get the general idea. As the color moves over. Oh, okay. Don't want to do it that way. All right, let's do it this way. See? These are the alternate colors that really don't show up. Look, gray. That proves I got a light enough touch on the ship. And I didn't wreck it. But you see how the pearlescent colors are darker? Now, let's take a look at an untreated decal. There is an untreated decal against the hull. You put it right next to the pearlescent decal. Doesn't look too bad. It's a little darker, only a little. Now let's turn the light out. Compare them like that. It's a little darker. Yes, it is. But then again, the color was supposed to be stark against the motion picture refit. So you know what? To make it accurate, you put the white on it, then you put the pearl white on it, then you apply the decals. Yeah. And you can see, here you go, the iridescent color. So normal decal, iridescent decal. See? There you go. There you go. And I took great pains to only paint within the pattern with a thin brush. That's pretty good. That proves I had a light enough touch. Good. Well, that's a success for the 537 Smoothie Refit. And for all we know, it'll be an interlude. Like it'll be a model number 3949 preview or something. Before I get to the Strange New Worlds Enterprise, I do want to apply the Aztec decals to the bottom saucer just to see what they look like. But you have to pick the Aztec decals that wrap around the bottom saucer and don't go into a spot that needs a window ledge. So you could only put on a maximum of 2. So a pearlescent and an iridescent side by side. Yeah. Because this one crosses panel lines, that full spot crosses panel lines, and so on. So weirdly enough, it's only the ones on the very back edge that can actually be applied at all during this testing phase. And for all we know, you have to trim around the neck on some of them. Okay, good, very good. So that's a success for the 537 refit and the Aztec decal color tests. Once again, there you are. So that's 4 decals on this sheet that have had the full color test. This one just has the red and maybe the green. And there's my color pattern on the sheet. That is my way of doing it. So dark gray has gold, light gray, and the pattern has the blue. And you can see what I've done so far. And when the decal's applied, it's going to be purple because that's the only other unused color. So you just have those left to do for the bottom hull, but you're only applying these two and these two because otherwise they're saucer gaps. Okay, so that's good. Everything is working, and we'll see you here next time. Bye-bye.